Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. It's a beautiful August day. It's hot. It's always hot in August. In Missouri, it's been this way since Missouri was here. It's always hot. I wanted to show you all something. So this is shade. It goes a row of trees all the way along the border of this new farm we bought. And so that's our perimeter fence right there. Well, we got some big oaks that hang over. And when we get time, that fence is gonna be moved inward about 14 feet. There's no road bed there, and our property line is in the center of that road. The previous landowner built new fence out here on the side because it was easier. He didn't have to clear any brush, he just stuck his fence in, but the true property line is in there about 12 feet. Well, if you take 12 feet times 3/4 of a mile, that's quite a bit of ground that you're not getting to utilize, and we'd like to have it just for the shade. Because you look out in here, there's not a lot of shade, there's some. And we're gonna start working on some of that by planting some trees. But this is our first year of owning this farm, but I wanted to show you something. So this is what 60 head did to that little shade spot yesterday. It's not little, it's pretty good size. Beautiful, beautiful oaks in there. I mean, there's a white oak here. I bet it's 200 years old. Look at that puppy. I'll get up here closer to you, so you can see the magnitude of it. It is a massive tree. It reminds me a little bit of the huge royal oaks that I saw in Georgia. I mean, they got some oak trees down there just unbelievable. I was on Daniel's farm, and some of those oak trees, I don't know, they all had sphagnum moss hanging in them, but they were just monsters. There were some trees down there that go twice as big as that one. And that's a big tree for Missouri. But folks, if you leave them underneath here, what they're gonna do, they're gonna defecate, of course, and poop and pee. And you leave them in this one spot very long, they can put a lot of nutrients down. And that tree there, they can kill them. I don't wanna kill that tree, because I know I'll never live long enough to replace it. Not with a tree that size. That tree's 250 years old. That saw the, in fact, that tree saw the Civil War. This is an old road bed that goes through over to Rucker. It's abandoned now, but I can remember as a little boy coming with my neighbor and my dad, and we coon hunted. I remember walking down this old road. I was probably 8 years old, and hearing the stories about the old people that lived along this road. This is a horse and buggy road right here. I know you can't even tell it's a road, folks, but it is. It's sunken in. If I could get over that fence, which I can't, it's hot. Let me go up here, I'll show you a little better. There, you can see it. You can see the giant trees on each side of it going up through there. And there's homesteads along here. Everybody had a 40-acre tract. But back in the day, this is about 10 miles, 12 miles from Centralia. And this is where Buddy Bill Anderson and those rebels that were just storming and ransacking and burning and pillaging and killing people. This is one of the roads that they would have taken to Centralia from Fayette. There was a lot of skirmishes that were around here, because Missouri was the border state. You know, there was both on each side. There was people that didn't believe in slavery, and there were people that had slaves. And so there was just a lot of battles and wars here in the Civil War. Of course, after it was over and toward the end of it, Buddy Bill and them, they wreaked havoc here in Boone County. The Centralia Massacre. So this would have been the road that they took to the Centralia Massacre, because they were, I believe they came from Fayette, and they were on them. There was people chasing them. The Union was after them. But they shot, I forgot the number, but the soldiers coming home on furlough, Union soldiers, they shot them. Lined them up and shot them right there in the street in Centralia. That's why they call it the Centralia Massacre. And they took off out of town. They chased them, and they had an ambush set up for the Union. And they lured them down into a valley, and they shot every one of them. All the Union soldiers that came after them, they shot them, except for one. I think one got away. And yeah, it was a bloody, bloody time. Can't imagine. Can't imagine, but I got to share one more with you. Marshall Colley's mom. See, Marshall was born in 1917. So that would have made Marshall's mom born in about 1850. Anyway, she told a story about her dad and her were coming back from Fayette in a buckboard wagon. And he saw this cloud of dust coming down the dirt road. Had old wooden bridges crossing the creeks. And there was rumors that Bloody Bill and those guys were out. And they were just burning and killing and raping people. And he took his buggy and drove it down underneath that bridge. Got it down in the creek. And took his shirt off and wrapped it over that horse's head. And took his fingers, she said he took his fingers and stuck them in the nose of that horse. And they came across that bridge. He could hear them. Old wooden bridge. And them it must have been, I don't know, there was a good group of them. And they stayed under that bridge for a long time. And finally he came peeking out and they were gone. But that act of skill and bravery and thinking on his feet saved his life and Marshall's Marshall's mom. It wouldn't have been a Marshall if they'd have found him. They'd have killed him. Yep, they were coming from Fayette. They did a lot of stuff over there around Fayette too. Anyway, I just found that intriguing that I actually knew somebody, Marshall, and his mom went through something like that. But I'll get off those stories. This old road reminded me of that. And there's a special story I may tell you about this road one day. It's a special birthplace, but I'm not going to mention it right now. Anyway, so what I did this morning, the cattle were on here for 24 hours. I took a wire, you can see it, and I just took it and brought it around. Hooked on cold right here. Folks, these cattle can't get back to this shade today. Not this one. But right on down the path here is another group of trees. Now, cattle are habitual. They will come back to the area they were in if it's comfortable. And they don't mind laying in that. But there's tons of flies here. They've got it bare. It needs rest. And when they came in here, that was all grass. They did that in one day. That was all grass. Look just like that out there. But it's going to be at least 60 days before I come back to that, so it will be recovered. As you can see down there, they've got tons of trees down there to get under. It's going to get up in the upper 90s. I will park these cattle out on a hill because they're tough. Without any shade. I've done it a couple times already on this pass because I just didn't have any trees. And they will go to the top of the hill where the air is, and they got the best air current, and that's where they will ruminate at. Red-hided cattle can take it, folks, especially South Pole. They're super, super heat resistant. That's what Teddy Gentry down in Alabama, he's the one that developed this breed, and they got heat and humidity in Alabama that make us look like we're on a cakewalk. I'm telling you, I've been down there. It's hot. It's humid. You can drink the air down there. So Teddy needed a cow that could take Alabama heat and fescue and thrive. But he wanted not just any cow. He wanted a cow that was docile, threw a good calf, 100% grass-fed, no grain, and where a farmer could actually stand and make a living. Now, isn't that a novel idea? Yeah. Folks, the minute you start feeding cattle grain, you're not making any money. I mean, if you're a feedlot, that's a different deal. You can get grain, you can buy it by the train car load or whatever. You get it cheap enough, you're probably making a little. But I'll compare my cost of gain against yours any day on forage. Folks, it takes 7 pounds of grain to put on 1 pound of gain. Yep, that's right. These guys are eating grass out there that's grown by sunlight. I didn't buy it. Bought the land, but I don't have to do anything. Every year it's here. I don't have to plant it. I don't have to fertilize it. I don't have to till it. I don't have to bring a combine in here. I don't have to mow it or rake it or bale it. The cattle are doing all that for me. That's what makes grazing such an awesome, awesome business to be in. Most folks don't really know. But I'm trying to get people to realize that grazing ruminants, it rocks the world. It really does. We can feed our communities. We can feed our families and not go broke doing it. Actually make some money at it. So I'm going to get out of here. Everyone have a good one. If you're needing a good bull, check out our website. We've got some on there. Some really nice South Pole bulls. I know some of y'all are going to be needing some bulls for this fall, for fall calving. Right now is a good time to get them. Bring them in, get them adjusted to your farm. They'll be ready to turn into your cows in November. And there's some good ones on there, folks. Really nice South Pole bulls. Y'all have a good one. That website is greenpasturesfarm.net. Y'all have a great day.